In 2198, fate had forced mankind to venture out into an ocean of stars in search of new worlds and resources. After years of searching, a large planet was discovered, given the title Renoa, meaning a light in the darkness. Confirmation was given to the crew aboard the ship Lantern to land and set up the first space colony, Elpidios. Once settled, exploration of the surface and mining of the planet's resources quickly began. It was discovered after 14 years that there was life within the planet. However, it was not the life they were hoping for. Something large was lurking beneath that had escaped the scanners. This something, which has been named the Ferrous venom, unbeknownst to the colonists, had made its way into the colony above.
In Ferrous Fall, you will take control of a smart, 13-year-old child whose parents are the lead scientists of the colony and are the ones who discovered the link between the harmful reactions of zinc and the Ferrous venom used throughout the game. From this threat, the colony went into emergency shutdown, forcing our protagonist to go into a stasis sleep within a bed tucked inside a wall, and thus becomes one of the few colonists not captured. 48 hours later, the Ferrous venom ventured into the security control room and had managed to deactivate the emergency shutdown, waking the protagonist. When reaching the parents' bedroom, signs of a struggle is seen, but no sight of the parents. After putting together a torn-up note written by the father, you will discover the zinc connection, and will then set out on a quest in search of the parents while saving colonists along the way, if you so choose. This sets up the theme of innocence overcoming adversity.
Begin a new walk of survival, something a young audience hasn't seen before. The key to the game is survival, not just your survival, but the survival of Elpidios. This beautiful futuristic colony that is expanding knowledge to across the stars is any space explorer's dream. A new planet, new materials, and new threats.
Usually first come with downsides, and that is finding an error, or more so becoming prey to a different species.
The usual bright long corridors are now dark and menacing. The feeling of anxiety and fear flush over every turn and every open door. Sometimes intellect is more valuable than physical strength, and the will to survive is more treasured than monetary gain. Thinking is your friend and a way to survive. You have a choice. Face whatever is slithering at the end of the corridor, or flee to find another way. It takes bravery to know when to fight, and to know when to flee. Will you find bravery in fighting or fleeing?
Not every choice falls under right or wrong, but every action will have a consequence. Zinc resources are limited, but there are still 30 colonists trapped in the webs of the Ferrous venom. Will your tools be used to save your fellow colonists, or will they be used to save yourself? The hallways and rooms are breeding grounds for the Ferrous spawn, and if you can't hide, then you must fight, so choose your path wisely. Saving the victims of the Ferrous webbing will reward you with access keycards, improved recipes, compounds, or background on the Ferrous venom, but will use up more of your zinc, reducing the resources you have available to save others. Defeating the Ferrous spawns will let you recover some lost resources, but remember to save enough to deal with the Ferrous venom. The looming threat of capture is enough to make any child want to hide in a corner, but as one of the last survivors, you'll have to be the hero this time. Zinc is plentiful throughout the research districts, but the other elements are not, and while zinc may be enough to beat the Ferrous spawn you find, the Ferrous venom is a much smarter and sturdier predator. Combining chemicals from your inventory will provide you with effective tools such as stun powder or smoke screens to enhance your fight or flight capabilities, but the minimalist design of the colony's various levels will leave you with few options if you don't ration your limited resources well. When combat is unavoidable, you'll have to rely on an inventory of crafted zinc compound canisters, created in a safe room through a simple chemistry minigame. These compounds can be enhanced for extended capacity, increased potency, or alternative uses such as a smokescreen. For the sly and sneaky, stealth is an option throughout the game and will allow you to crouch to hide in air vents, behind crates, and even enter rooms with partially open doors. You'll have to avoid traps set by the Ferrous spawn, and some of the safer routes will take you the long way towards your goal, but you'll be able to save more of your zinc to dissolve the Ferrous webbing that holds so many colonists bound. Sneak well enough, and you might even save them all. You can upgrade the potency of your compounds by combining zinc with other local elements like barium or sulfur. The more powerful your compound needs to be, the more materials you'll have to use. However, rescuing researchers can offer up better recipes or rare compounds that consume less resources, but combat will remain a viable way to clear your route and stockpile some components. Use these upgraded compounds to destroy Ferrous spawns at range, dissolve Ferrous webbing around captured victims, or create distractions to help you outrun the Ferrous venom. The minimalist style inherent to the survival horror genre lends itself to a UI devoid of information that isn't absolutely critical. A minimap drawn from the character's memory will be slowly uncovered as you explore the geographical changes caused by the Ferrous venom's passing. Using a number of diegetic interfaces present throughout the colony, you and the character will have access to high-tech recipe datapads and map consoles which will avoid a cluttered heads-up display and a superimposed UI, yet still present the player with a reason and reward for exploring each area in a level. Following this style, a utility belt attachment will also provide you with a grasp of your available canisters and remaining compounds at a quick glance rather than in a menu screen. Because of our silent protagonist, all the UI elements will provide confirmation of use with electronic beeps and overwriting menus.
Audio plays an integral part in Ferrous Fall, as tension-packed ambience will be used to alert players of areas with increased danger or an area clear of threats. Sound itself will influence the fight-or-flight style. Running from a threat will produce increased noise from the character as their feet interact with different surfaces throughout the colony. Running for an extended time, you may become exhausted and be forced to hide. This will cause you to risk heavy breathing and run a higher risk of getting caught. Sound in this manner may alert nearby spawn and even the venom itself. In this way, your movement will influence sound. Standing will produce no noise, walking produces a small step sound, and running produces a lot of noise. Stealth will result in a lower move speed, but will produce the least amount of noise, resulting in a better means of travel at the cost of speed. Other materials, such as crates and debris, will also carry a sound as they are moved or interacted with. These can have a dual use, as a player may knowingly use them to alert threats in order to eliminate them, or use them in order to bypass threats. The Ferrous spawn and venom also carry their own signature sounds, as you can hear them sloshing about or letting out spider-like hissing. The webs will carry a rope stretching sound and other wet and unnerving noises to signify the presence of threats. With futuristic, pulsing tracks with rising intensity, we will awaken fear in you as you check every corner or cautiously proceed expecting an enemy that lingers outside of your view. When entering safe areas, this intensity will end and change your mindset. However, this plays both ways, as you will then have to leave a safe and calming area and immediately be thrust back into the mysterious fray.
The sterile environment of the colony has been trashed and defiled by the Ferrous venom, so the paths you once knew like the back of your hand won't be the same anymore. Making your way through vents, over debris, and between half-open doors will unravel much of the devastation caused in the Ferrous venom's wake. Discover trapped colonists and researchers who will aid you in exchange for their rescue, and fight or flee from the spawns of the Ferrous venom who will seek you relentlessly as you make your way down the dizzying halls of the besieged colony. All the while, remaining attent for the telltale sights and sounds that signal the Ferrous venom is just around the corner. For these encounters, the mechanics of combat and stealth offer much to the pace of the gameplay and the various strategies available to you based on the choices you've made throughout the game so far. Enhanced potency will allow you opportunities to actually stun the Ferrous venom in situations where an encounter could not be avoided. Conversely, Investing in alternative uses can allow you to create smokescreens that offer a way to seek cover for a while longer. Remember, the flickering lights and clicking sounds are a dead giveaway that the Ferrous venom is close by. Plan accordingly. The Ferrous spawn, on the other hand, will offer many different tactics for combat. While most will follow a predetermined path that can be easily avoided with some patience, the webbing left by the Ferrous venom will create spawns that actively track you in an area, forcing you to select canisters from your inventory to toss at the spawns in the hopes of destroying them. Don't let them get too close. Even a single spawn can capture you and end your quest immediately.
As you progress, you find several different living things that inhabit Elpidius. Your fellow colonists, all dressed uniformly in sterile white, differ among ages and race. The colonists are not strong people, for their forte is science and research. As you rescue the different colonists, though they are wounded and can't be of much physical help, they will be able to help in other ways. Once you move on, the rescued colonists will go to the nearest safe room. The next type of life are the Ferrous beasts you come across. The small, puddle-like globs that inhabit the now web-covered halls are the Ferrous spawn. They lay there guarding some of the cocoons, or just wandering the halls in general, not far from their main web. Make a mistake and get spotted by the spawn, and they will be alerted. Their liquid bodies will begin to prickle and vibrate. The oil-slick sheen on their bodies will reflect, which will give you the advantage of seeing them in the dark hallways. This is in contrast with the intelligent Ferrous venom. The giant black mass with hundreds of long, sticky fibers cover the hallways at an alarming rate. The only choice to this beast is to flee. Unlike the Ferrous spawn, the venom will move through the halls randomly and is not tied down. If you are spotted, the venom will attack and attempt to cocoon you. If you are caught, the action will result in a game over. However, if you manage to flee, the venom will resume stalking the hallways in search of any more colonists.
At the onset of the game, you will be able to choose your own path, and as you move forward through the hallways and open areas of the rooms, you'll notice that the environment is laid out with two forms of gameplay in mind. There will be areas where a 13-year-old child can sneak past undetected, such as hidden vents or by strategically moving in and around furniture. The same environmental features can be used in combat to avoid the Ferrous spawns while bombarding and spraying them with canisters. The levels will block your way forward with destruction, Ferrous webbing, secure doors, or darker, longer alternate paths with higher risks. Each choice and path will coincide with a mechanic forcing you to use the environmental destruction, furniture, or hidden passages of the level. This creates levels that serve as strategic environmental puzzles for progression as well as serving the gameplay. Those who choose to explore by searching the corners of destroyed areas or following the clues given by NPCs will also be rewarded throughout the level. Each part of the colony, like the kitchen, living quarters, labs, or mining areas, will have specific furniture and environmental traits and looks to enhance your experience and the believability of the world. Subsequently, each level will enhance the audio features, carrying the mood they create into the environment through lighting flickers, visual cues to movement, and destruction or webbing clues foreshadowing the dangers ahead. Ferrous Fall will have a visual style all its own. The environments will use high-contrast bright areas and low-lighted corridors and passageways. The visual presentation of an area will set the stage for you to choose the stealth approach or stand and fight. The environments will be as much a tool to focus the tension as it is to build a believable world. Elpidios was a sterile environment, and the artistic representation of that fact will be counterbalanced by the black sheen of the Ferrous venom and its webbing. The Ferrous venom itself should give the impression of a sticky oil slick, but with an unnatural quality to counter the man-made lines of the colony. The visual contrast it creates will set the stage for the tension a survival horror game needs. The idea is to keep you alert and tense through visuals without resorting to the standard blood and guts scares that would be inappropriate for our target audience. Ferrous Fall will be presented in a soft, cel-shaded style, allowing you to experience the beauty of the art but keep the world believable, relatable, and usable for every game mechanic and the minimal style of the UI elements. The look of the levels themselves should help strengthen the story of a colony under attack. Characters will also be handled in this way. The cel-shaded style will allow for beautiful colors and a stylized look, but the appearance will be grounded in realism. Using this design, it will be easy to endear the audience to a character and their dire situation, drawing you into a more emotional investment into the game. As you can see, Ferrous Fall is a survival horror game using suspense and stealth for ages 10 and up, and is unlike anything experienced before. As a player, you must use your cunning, your own knowledge, and will to survive in order to progress. You will learn chemistry, and through your own choices, you can save an entire colony, or just yourself, all while experiencing one of the greatest sci-fi stories ever told. Thank you for your time. We look forward to meeting you in Ferrous Fall.